The Acura RDX is one of the most popular choices in the compact luxury SUV segment, and for good reason. It's made for drivers, people that enjoy a back road, good handling, and a turbocharged engine that punches above its weight. For the 2025 model year, there's just a few minor changes. I'll go over all of them with you on this top A-Spec Advance. The RDX was brand new for the 2019 model year, got a mild refresh for 2022, and it's continuing on strong for 2025 with the smallest of changes. There's still so much to like about this SUV, especially how it drives. For 2025, Acura has changed the outer frame of its diamond pentagon grille. You'll have to look really closely. Really, just the frame is thinner. It's not frameless, as Acura describes. It's just thin. It looks good, and on the A-Spec, it's all tinted out in gloss black. The jewel eye headlights, that's what they call it, and I agree, they are like jewels. Some of the nicest looking LEDs you see in the industry, also some of the brightest. Nothing else changes except for this new urban gray pearl paint color, along with a new silver and blue. Those are the changes for 2025. The RDX is still a really good looking SUV, and for 2025, there's all new wheel choices on all of the trims, including this A-Spec Advance. But I don't really like these wheels like the previous one I drove a few years ago. Those wheels, multi-spoke and gray, really a dark black almost, these are now an accessory option that costs over $2,000. I really wish it was on this car now. You can still order it, but lots of nice bright colors. Acura is really paying attention to the lines here. They're fluid. The bigger MDX also looks good, and it shares that design language. This RDX did it first, and I think it still wears it well. I especially like all of the gloss black accents, especially on the door handles. That's a nice nod to Porsche. Acura's wraparound taillights still look really good. They got that nice C shape, very distinctive at night. But the one thing they still don't have for 2025, LED turn signals. These are still old incandescent bulbs. I think at this price point on the top trim, they absolutely should offer that. Otherwise, I like the proportions here, but I do wish that the exhaust tips were darker like they used to be. It contrasts against all the gloss black trim that's elsewhere. I personally just like it darker. The RDX has one engine, a 2-liter turbo inline-4 that's derived in part from the Integra Type S. It's detuned to 272 horsepower and 280 pound-feet. Those are still pretty good numbers. A 10-speed automatic transmission is your only choice, and it's all-wheel drive. Fuel efficiency, it's decent. It's basically around 26 mpg EPA estimated with all-wheel drive models. Nothing to shake a stick at, but really any of these luxury crossovers you're getting in this segment don't prioritize fuel efficiency. This is what happens when you put the motor from an Integra Type S into an SUV. Fundamentally, the block, pretty much all the components are from that same 2-liter Turbo 4. This was the same engine that used to be in the Honda Accord. Not offered anymore. But it's in this RDX, and even though it's down on power and torque compared to that engine, fundamentally it behaves the same way. It sounds good. Good response. There's a whole lot more gears here, 10 speeds, but you don't ever get lost in it. And downshifting happens like that, it really does. Paddle shifters are also good. Really, the performance, just in automatic mode, especially in sport, which I'm in now, it's all you need. If you're in competitors, say even an Audi Q5, Mercedes GLC, they don't have 4-cylinder engines that are as feisty as this one. Really, the only one that can compete with this is the BMW X3. BMW's Turbo 4s are great, but you have to remember, Acura is Honda, and Honda's been making 4-cylinder engines that rev and scream and pull hard for decades. And luckily, as a luxury SUV, if you dial it back down to normal, or even comfort, things quiet down. This is not the most quietest that you'll find in the class. If you're desiring something like that, something softer, like a Lexus NX might be your choice. But I prefer this. There's just enough road feel coming through the seat and the steering wheel to remind me that, hey, I'm driving something and I want to be engaged. Now, there's no hands-free system with the Acura Watch system, but it's been out for many years. They've refined it. You'll find all the same safety features on every single RDX trim. And with adaptive cruise on, it works pretty well. I don't think you need to have a hands-free, but if you're looking for that feature, not gonna find it here. Opting for the A-Spec gives you adaptive dampers. 3 ways, all tied to the driving modes. You can't select them individually, but that's okay. The handling and the suspension and the steering feel, actually some of my favorites. Not just on the RDX, but just among compact SUVs. This is a fun car. You might not think it because this car is everywhere on the road, but especially in the A-Spec trim, it's a lot more fun than it looks. It seriously is. You'll find yourself going a lot quicker than you'd expect. Mostly because it's just so easy to point. That's when you have a company that really trickles down technology from the Acura NSX, which is no longer made. That type of car, in many ways, including this brake-by-wire system, it just feels immediate, which is what you want. In this segment, you're supposed to be delivering sport in addition to luxury. Because anybody can make a compact SUV. There's dozens of them on the market. But it's the feel that matters. And Acura does a good job here. It's not all out crazy. And they could add a really high performance trim, say like BMW does with their M series. But I don't think they have to. The customer, I think, that I've seen with Acura, they don't really want that. But everything on here is just so responsive, and it's just fun. Another big distinction with the RDX versus competitors is super handling all-wheel drive. Sounds like a marketing term that should mean nothing, but it's actually something. It's mechanical torque vectoring on the back axle. It overdrives the outside wheel in your tight turn, and that just gives you way sharper response. It's not like brake-based torque vectoring where it's applying brakes and using your brake pads. Not at all. It's mechanical. This is something Acura has done, and Honda, since the mid-2000s. You can see it working right on the dash too. And the great thing here is that 100% of the rear axle's torque can be sent to that outside wheel. And as far as front and rear split, up to 70%. So it's certainly more aggressive from the start than other luxury SUVs. Just in case you forgot, there was another sport mode on the transmission. It's a lot of fun, it's sure-footed. Pop back down to drive. This is a driver's car, it is. And I think Acura has really done a good job putting all the dynamics right down to the brake pedal feel. You're gonna feel right at home if you like driving. There's no more sliding cover on the center console, but in return, you get easier access to the wireless phone charger, bigger cup holders, more storage, and there's also ambient lighting here, and that was never there before. There's still plenty of black suede and red stitching, including on these redesigned front door panels and the dashboard. There's also illuminated front and rear door speaker cones. They're ELS stereo. It sounds pretty darn good in here. And if you're getting wood trim on an RDX, which this one doesn't have, it's real. But this is also real aluminum. There's good attention to detail. There's no more black ultra suede accents on these seats. It's just full leather. They feel great. They're very supportive, 16-way and heated and cooled on this top trim. Headroom and legroom are great. The seat angle, not so much. I wish it was angled a little bit upward like the front seats for more comfort. But the panoramic moonroof is great. This whole flat loading floor makes it very easy to put cargo in if you don't need to use the trunk, and also heated outboard seats and USB-C ports. Behind the rear seats, just over 29 cubic feet. When they're folded, about 59. There's some under tray storage. There's also no spare tire, so that's why you do get more under tray storage. Remote seat levers and a 12-volt power outlet. New this year, wireless Apple CarPlay is now full screen, but you still can't touch the screen. You gotta use the touchpad down here, which if you're in CarPlay, let's go back to that. This was never meant to be used with a touchpad, so it's actually very, very difficult. And the rest of the system is too. Now, Acura did start with great intentions years ago before CarPlay and Android Auto were a real thing. However, this is now harder to use in practice. It's not as easy to use when you're driving, and it's just not as intuitive in general. But when you go through everything, there are a lot of features. A lot of ambient light themes. You want to be in the Vegas Strip or the Champs-Élysées? You can do that. The lighting is really nice here at night. Can't see it now, but this is definitely the interior to feature it in. And if you go through more of the settings, not only are there plenty of ways to adjust driver assist, all of which come standard, by the way. Acura watch with self-centering steering, blind spot, all standard on every single trim. And on these top trims, going into the sound, you can adjust the speakers on the roof, and it also has DTS processing. That's not something I see very often, and I love that. I'm a big stereo guy, so love to see features like that in luxury cars. Another nice feature, you can hit the cameras with a button on the wiper stalk as opposed to a button elsewhere, so that's nice. Camera views could be a little bit better, but again, side cameras, it's all there for you. So there's good functionality here. You can also swipe over here, change what you're viewing on this third portion of the screen, but really, the system does need a rethink. The 2025 Acura RDX starts at $45,000. There are 5 trims. I tested the A-Spec Advance, with destination around $56,000. There's lots of competitors in the luxury space, including the Audi Q5, BMW X3, Lexus NX, and a whole lot more. The RDX remains one of our favorite compact luxury SUVs, and for good reason. It's delivering value in the year 2025. A lot of great interior materials and a driving style that really is engaging. It's playing more like the Germans would, and even though this is a front-wheel drive chassis to start, Acura's super handling all-wheel drive really does live up to the engineering hype. This car delivers, and there's a lot of ways to get it. So what do you think? Do you want other compact luxury SUVs? Non-luxury? We've got all the reviews. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll see you next time.